I had to continually improve on my mindset and my attitude towards the preparation for tournaments, games, trainings, etc. I wanted to be in my best self, frame of mind, and I often ask myself questions during games or before games, how do I feel? Because sometimes I was too up or too down. I wanted to be at my best self, I used to call it, and that is in the perfect frame of mind, on task, at that moment, what's happening, and having a clear mindset and good attitude towards being focused so I can perform and train at my best. When you're younger, it was quite easy for me because you go out there and you don't have any fear and you take the game on and whatever happens, happens because you know you're going to have a long career. But when you get a bit older and your body you can't do what it used to do probably 10 years before that, you start to have doubts, and the older you get, the more doubts you have. So probably the best tournament that I can remember was when I was 36 years of age, and it was the World League 4 in India. So it was top 6 teams in the world. My body wasn't feeling 100% great. It had been a long year. The tournament was in December, and Christmas was just around the corner. So there's a lot of distractions going on outside of hockey and with everything. Being in India itself is sometimes challenging because it's not like what we're used to here in Australia or other places around the world. So I really went into that tournament and I just wanted to have a really positive attitude. I wanted to talk to my teammates. I wanted to have energy so my mates could just feed off that energy, and it's a powerful tool to have. When you have a great mindset and a great attitude and you're playing and you're having fun, your teammates see that and your coaches see that, and they sort of feed off you, and it sort of spreads like a virus through the team, which is great. So that first game I went out there and I was like, all right, let's just go out there, let's have some fun. Preparation for the whole year we'd done. So we'd prepared physically. Mentally it was a challenge because we had a long trip over there, end of the year like I said, so we wanted to bring a great attitude along so it spread through the team, and we played really well and we won that tournament, and I got voted best player at that tournament when I was 36 years of age. My body wasn't great, family were back home, I was missing them, but I was on task and I stayed in that moment, and I really wanted to cherish every single game I had left for Australia. So that attitude and the on-task sort of presence that I had, and to get my teammates around me and join me during that process was a great feeling, and something that I really enjoyed that tournament. The best way to develop mental toughness, in my opinion, is to put yourself under pressure all the time. When I go to training, I don't just go through the motions. I'd pretend I was in an Olympic Games gold medal final. Now, looking back at my life, I did this from a very young age. I remember growing up in Rockhampton, practicing corners, and I used to always say, we're in the Olympic final, this is the last corner, let's get it in, or let's put ourselves under pressure. Once I was in the Australian environment and in international level, I'd always put myself under pressure and try and execute the skill to perfection. So then when I was in that situation during a game, I'd pretend I was at training and I knew I'd prepared for it. So my mind helped me in those pressure positions. During a game of hockey, it doesn't always go right. I can go on for 6 minutes and have a bad 6 minutes. Then once I come off, we used to always go for a little walk. I used to have practice my breathing, calm my heart rate down, and just say, okay, these next 6 minutes I go back on for, these are the things I wanted to achieve. So even those 6-minute periods that I was playing, or 9-minute periods I was playing during the game, I used the break, half-time break, quarter-time break, or when I got substituted, to refocus and recenter my thought process for the next 6, 9, 10 minutes, or however long that may be. So you can break it down into those little steps, but then you've got the longest steps as well, which are rocking up to training, put yourself in pressure, and when you're on the field, you execute and feel free and confident that you've put in the preparation to be successful. The best way to lead or to have a great team environment is to make sure that you've got an awesome attitude and you're always on the same path, journey to success. And our expectation was that we wanted to win. But what other things do we have to do to get to that winning position? Little team meetings with the Strike Forward group or one-on-one individual chats with your teammate really help. So the communication and the positive attitude and how you approach these people, I think is important to having some team success and getting everyone on board. Everyone's a little bit different heading into tournaments or into training, but you need to refocus and set those goals so they're all on the same pathway to being a great team. And you need to have 100% trust in each other. If you don't have that trust, you need to go and talk to them and sort it out as soon as possible. So when you're on the field and you're fighting against whoever it is, your opponent, you want to be able to trust your teammates 100%. So, and you want them to trust you as well. So that trust is so important. Getting a mental edge on your opponent is very important. I think preparation work going into it, to knowing what their strengths and weaknesses are and what opportunities you have against them on the field is important. And also, if you can know them, their personality, and see what makes them tick or doesn't tick. If I'm playing someone who likes to talk and likes to get aggressive, you don't want to get into that battle with them. You'd like to keep it quiet and not talk to them because that might stop them from being their best. Learning a bit about your opponent off the field, plus also knowing everything you possibly can of what their strengths and weaknesses are on the field is preparation that you must do. And you need to do it, otherwise if they know you better than what you know them, it's going to be a tough game out there. When you feel pressure or you're put in a pressure situation, you got to look at it as it's a good thing, because these are the positions you want to be in as an athlete. You want to be under pressure. You want to be in a position where you're put on the spot to execute your skill or to show the world what you're capable of. Now, sometimes it works out well and sometimes it doesn't. How I prepared for pressure was one, I used to try and visualise on the trainings how I was going to execute the skill. So whether it was a penalty stroke, I'd make sure every time at training I would think, okay, this is what I'm going to do and this is how I'm going to do it. Now that changes on the different opponents you're playing, but when it comes to a pressure situation like a penalty stroke, I know exactly where I'm going to go before the game and I never change my mind. So here you'll see it's not a huge pressure situation because we're already 4-0 up, but the execution is exactly the same. I visualise it before I go there. I know where my feet are going to be. I know the keeper well, so it doesn't matter which side he goes, I feel confident that I can push the ball hard enough and execute my skill put it in the perfect position to get the best outcome.